gang, Gary Germer here, your antique appraiser extraordinaire. Coming to visit with you again about some fun collections and things we have found in the backs of drawers of people's homes. This week we have silver, and there was a collection of silver that was brought to us out of a hoarder's house in Central Oregon. This fellow took him a year to clean out his uncle's house of all the trash and rubble, and as they were sorting, they kept coming across spoons like this and other pieces of silver. So we'll be doing another couple videos showing you some of the other silver out of this estate, but this is my favorite part, is these spoons right here. What makes these really unique is these spoons are 400 years old from England, and they're known as apostle spoons. Now, they still make apostle spoons, but it isn't the same thing as the original ones. As the name implies on the apostle spoons here, is that each one of these are a different apostle. We have Matthew, we have James, we have John, we have Peter, and we even have Jesus here. And you could actually go and have a spoon made that would have your patron saint on it. And oftentimes these were given as gifts. And you have to understand, back in those Elizabethan times and on through the 1600s, people, even wealthy people, didn't have sets of silver or sets of flatware, not in the sense that we think of today. That wasn't until really into the 1700s that the idea of silver sets really came into play. Up until that time, people would eat with a spoon, and the average person would have a wooden spoon. Matter of fact, you probably heard that term, they were spooning. It was something that if you courted your girl, you could sit on the front porch and whittle out another spoon, I guess, and they called it spooning. And you'd be making a wooden spoon, and the term spoon actually, the word spoon actually comes from meaning a piece of wood. But this would have been for the wealthy people. And if you were wealthy, you would take your spoon and have it for a lifetime, and you would take it with you when you would travel or go to someone else's place. And so these were given usually as gifts when a child was born, as a christening gift to a wealthy child or to a wealthy family, sometimes as a wedding gift, and of course there were people who'd go and have one made for themselves as well. But to have a whole set made was unheard of and are as scarce as unicorns. So you'd find them all. If you wanted to get, you had to accumulate a set if you really wanted all of them, or have one commissioned, which would have been wildly expensive. So the spoons you would carry with you, and these date to, this one here dates to 1570, and oftentimes then you would have a monogram put on. It was done with a little hammer and like a nail, and it would be pricked in there, your initials, and then sometimes the year that it was given. And that would also identify it for life as being your spoon, and if you took it somewhere. So that was the beginning of monogramming things. It was after this then the royalty really started the idea of let's put monograms on, our initials on everything. And that was sort of really the beginning of monogramming things. So these were ornate for about 200 years, it was a gift to give people. As time went on, these time overlap. These are called, are a little less ornate, and these are called seal-top spoons. And the seal-top spoon, as the name would imply, you could put your initials right on the top here, but you had this little baluster shape, and it was a lot less ornate. So it would be more of a utilitarian, getting a little bit away from the religious and having a more business, but still an ornate and beautiful spoon. So then, as time progressed, spoons got even more plain, and they had these here that are called Puritan spoons. They're completely plain and ornate, and the Calvinists and the Puritan movement was about being absolutely strict and away from any form of idolatry, which is what they thought that these spoons looked like idols. So they had very, very plain. So as a statement, even though the bowls and everything else, utilitarian purpose was the same, you gave them as christening gifts, all that, it showed a different mindset that the culture was switching to, from the super ornate down to that. Then one thing I'd like to show you here on these spoons also are the hallmarks. And the hallmarks are here in the bowl, lets you know the city that it was registered, the silversmith was registered. It was London, England. And then if you look on the back, you'll see the lion passant, they call it. It's a walking lion. He's walking to the left. And that is a symbol for sterling silver. And then there would be a letter mark that would be the year. And this holds true today, although there's more city marks than just London in England. And there's several charts you can use on the internet. The one I use mostly is called 925-1000 is the website. And there's charts there by the city. The first thing you figure out if it's sterling, then the city, and then you can go by the date mark. And they go with a letter, and then each year they change it by the font or by the shape of the little box that the letter's in. And then you can, with a little detective work, figure out when your spoon was made. Anyway, that's it. I get a kick out of these things, and I wanted to play a little show and tell with you, because who knows when I'll ever have a chance to touch another one of these again. 400-year-old spoons. So please, come join us again. If you've liked it, like us on Facebook and like us on the channel, but more than anything, subscribe. And even more than that, I'm hoping that you'll contact me with your questions so we can have a dialogue about what you've found or questions you've always had about antiques or collecting or vintage items. I'd love to see what you've found, the coolest thing you've ever found at an estate sale. So please, subscribe, contact us, and we're going to have fun every week. Until next time, I'm Gary Germer. Take care.